Hello and welcome to Santosha Rose. My name's Sam. The theme of today's practice is going to be flow. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. See you on the mat. We're going to start today's practice lying down on our backs. Gently bringing yourself onto your back, feet a little bit apart, palms facing upwards, and maybe just close your eyes. And we're just going to take a second to settle, coming into our bodies, allowing your attention to settle onto your breath. Feeling the breath coming in and the breath going out. And allowing yourself to let go of anything that's happened so far today. Letting yourself ground in this moment on this breath. And then keep your eyes closed or open them, whatever feels good for you. You're going to lift up the right knee, squeeze it into the chest, and straightening that leg up to the ceiling, pushing through the heels, flexing the toes, and then slowly, with control, bringing that straight leg all the way down to the mat. And letting that leg settle on the mat. And then bringing up the left knee, giving it a squeeze, straightening that leg up to the ceiling, flexing your toes, and bringing it slowly down. A nice straight line coming down to the mat. And you do one more time on each side, bending in through the right leg, giving it a squeeze. You can lift your head up to the knee if you want to do that. And then bringing the head down, pushing that leg back up to the ceiling and slowly lowering that leg down. Try and resist the temptation to go fast at the end as it starts to get heavier, really engaging through those tummy muscles. And letting that right leg settle. And bring in the left knee, give it a squeeze, maybe bring your head up towards your knee. And then bringing the head back down, straightening that leg up to the ceiling. And we're going to slowly release it down. Keeping breathing. And resting that left leg, both legs resting on the floor. And you're going to bring both knees in together, wrapping your arms around, lifting the head, squeeze, and then pushing both legs straight up to the ceiling. And just holding it here for a couple of breaths, pulling your toes towards your face. See if you can straighten through the legs. You might need a little bit of a bend. Take the cue from your body today. And see if you can bring your legs a little bit towards your face. So it's quite a subtle movement. You're not rocking on your back, you're keeping your back completely on the floor, but just engaging through your core, using your muscles to pull your feet towards your head. Keeping legs as straight as possible. And then releasing back to neutral. And then we're going to bring the legs down together. And this is going to take some real stomach muscles. So engaging through your core. And you're going to slowly lower the legs down. Just see how far you can go. Engaging through the tummy muscles. Nice smooth movement. Bringing the legs down all the way onto the mat. And then releasing all your muscles And bringing the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the knees and take a little rock from side to side. Feeling that massage through your spine. And then you're going to cross your ankles over, holding onto the outside of your feet with the opposite hands. You're going to rock the other way. It's taking a couple of nice rocks, feeling that massage all the way down your spine. And then we're going to come up to a cross-legged seated position. And just resting your hands on your knees, lifting up through the crown of your head. If you need to sit on a blanket or a cushion just to keep that straightness in the back, then feel free to grab one of those. And we're going to inhale, reaching the arms up to the ceiling, looking at that gap between the hands, feeling that stretch through the side body, and exhaling, turning the hands, bringing the hands slowly down to touch the mat. Inhaling, reaching up, slowly, mindfully with the movements. Exhaling, turning the hands, slowly bringing the hands back down. And inhale, reaching up, grounding down through the sit bones. Let your legs feel heavy. So you're grounding down through the bottom of your body, lifting up through the top. And then exhaling, bringing the arms back down to the sides. And touching onto the mat. Okay, inhaling again. Coming all the way up. Reaching up through the side body, and on the exhale this time bring the left hand to the right knee, the right hand behind, so you're taking a twist, looking over the right shoulder, inhaling, lengthening through the spine, exhaling, finding a little bit more twist. And do that one more time. Inhaling, lift, exhale, twist. And now inhaling, coming back to the center, reaching up to the ceiling, and then taking the exhale the other way on the twist. Left hand behind, right hand onto the left knee. And again, using that breath, inhaling, lifting up through the spine, exhaling, twisting. You can use that leverage of the right hand. Inhale and put a little bit of pressure through that right hand to help with the twist. One more time, inhaling, straightening up through the spine. Exhale, looking over that left shoulder. And then inhaling again back to the middle, reaching up to the ceiling. And exhaling, bringing the arms down by the sides. And take a couple of nice circles in your shoulders, circling back. And circling forwards. And reaching your arms out in front of you. Tuck your thumbs in, wrap your fingers around your thumbs. I'm going to take some circles of the wrists. See if you can keep your arms completely straight. So they're not moving around, it's just the wrists that are moving. And then taking those circles in the other direction. And don't worry if they're cracking, if there's a little bit of noise there. It's all good. And turning the palms up to the ceiling now. And then inhaling, touching the shoulders. Exhaling, opening the palms back out. Inhale, touching the shoulders. Exhaling, palms out. Inhale to your shoulders, and this time taking the elbows out to the side. And exhaling, opening the arms out to the side this time. Inhaling, bringing them into the shoulders. And now taking the elbows back, so you're opening up through the chest, feeling that sense of squeezing together your shoulder blades. And just take a breath here, inhaling, And exhaling, squeezing those elbows back, shoulder blades together. And now bringing the elbows towards each other in front of you. If they touch, then that's cool. If not, just coming towards each other and keeping the hands on the shoulders, lifting the elbows up and taking some circles with those arms. Go a little bit slower than you want to go here, than the temptation is. You really feel that sense of movement in the shoulders and lifting up still through the spine, keeping the spine nice and straight. So next time the elbows touch, taking them in the other direction. Feeling that nice sense of movement in the shoulders. Fabulous. Okay. Give your shoulders a little bit of a shake. You're going to reach forward. You're going to come onto a tabletop position. So hands and knees, tabletop. And you're going to check your alignment. So shoulders directly over wrists, hips directly over knees. Have a little bit of a gap between your knees. So you've got that hip width apart. And then you're going to bring the tummy down, lifting the head up, gazing up towards the ceiling, and then pulling the navel in towards the spine, rounding through the back, chin towards chest. So inhaling, bringing the tummy down, and the head up. Exhaling, curling through the spine into your cat posture. Inhaling, tummy down and head up. And exhaling, navel in, chin towards chest. And you can do some slightly more exaggerated movements here. So taking the hips back and then coming forwards, chin along the ground, pushing up through the arms, and then back into that cat posture. Bring the hips back, chin towards the ground, scooping up and pushing back and back into the cat. And just doing that a couple of times. Feeling that little bit more flow, that bit more movement. And then coming back to the tabletop position. Okay, grounding down through the right hand. We're going to lift the left arm up to the ceiling, opening up through the left hand side of the body, looking at that left hand, and then we're going to feed this left hand, threading it through, bringing the left shoulder to the floor, the left side of the head to the floor, and lifting up through the right arm, reaching the right arm up to the ceiling, and then tucking the right arm behind the back, coming towards that left thigh. And taking a full breath here. And then reaching that right arm back up to the ceiling. And then bending, pushing down through the right arm, lifting the left arm all the way back up, opening out. And then bringing that left hand back down onto the mat. And grounding through the left arm, going to lift the right arm up, opening up on the other side. Inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling, threading that arm through right shoulder, right side of the head on the floor, lifting up through the left arm, opening up in the shoulder, and then tucking that arm behind and taking a full breath here. Reaching up through the left arm and then planting the left hand on the floor, pushing through that arm, taking the right arm, opening back up, reach, 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 and then placing that hand back on the floor. Taking the hips back towards your feet, stretching out in a child's pose, and bringing your head to the floor, either directly or using your hands as a bit of a pillow. And taking a couple of resting breaths here. And then bringing yourself gently back up into that tabletop position. You're going to tuck your toes under. We're going to send the hips up to the ceiling into a downward facing dog. So in this first downward dog of the practice, just be super gentle with yourself. So pedaling the legs, maybe bending, straightening one leg then the other. Keep a little bit of movement in your shoulders, in your spine. Maybe looking under one arm, looking under the other. And just have a real sense of flow, of movement. It's our theme for our practice today. You're going to come up onto your tiptoes, bend your knees slightly, and lifting up the tailbones. That real sense of lift through the tailbone. And then slowly bringing the knees down to the mat. And you're going to bend through your elbows, elbows into your body, chest and chin on the floor. And then scooping through, coming into your baby cobra. So it's a small lift, chest and chin off the floor. But you could let go actually. You're holding it in your back. You're not pushing through your arms on this one. And then bringing the chin back down to the floor, pushing up through the arms onto the knees, tucking the toes under and lifting back up into downward facing dog. And again, you can have some movement in this one, keeping that idea of flow. Take the cue from your body, see what feels good. Want to make sure that you're pushing through your hands, through your fingers. That will take some of the pressure out of your wrists. And that real sense that you're lifting your hips up rather than trying to push back. It's upward is the momentum in downward facing dog. Bringing your feet together. We're going to lift the right leg up. It might just lift a little bit. You might be able to lift it all the way up to the ceiling. Just play with that. See what feels good for you today. You're going to bend that leg in and bring the foot in between the hands. So it might take a couple of steps, a little bit of shuffling, that's fine. Bring the left knee down and untuck the left toe. You're going to reach your arms up, palms facing in, looking at that gap between your hands. You can use the back of your left foot to create stability. Squeeze into the midline of your body, reaching up, and then bringing the hands down to your sides, opening up in the chest. You can look to the gap between the ceiling and the wall in front of you, a slight lift in the chin, opening out in the chest, fingertips coming down towards the floor. And then planting the hands back either side of the left foot. I'm going to tuck the left toe back under, lifting the knee up, taking the right foot back to meet the left, coming back up into downward facing dog. And again, have some movement if that feels good for your body. And then bringing the feet together, we're going to lift the left leg up this time. So planting down through the right leg, lifting up through the left. And then bending that left leg in, placing that foot between the hands. Back knee down to the floor, untucking the back toes, and lifting up into that low lunge. You want to have a right angle in this front knee. So the knee, again, is completely in a straight line over the ankle. Palms facing in and looking at that gap between the palms. And now bringing the hands down to the sides, opening up through the chest, lifting the gaze, looking at that gap between the ceiling and the wall. And breathe. And now placing the hands on either side of that front foot, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee up, taking the left leg all the way back. You're going to be in a downward facing dog, but not for very long. And we're going to start walking slowly, bringing our feet towards our hands. So small steps, gently coming up to the front of the mat. And we're going to meet here in a forward fold. So just allowing yourself to release. You can take a little bit of a bend in the knees. It's not about stretching the hamstrings, it's about stretching the spine. So really using gravity here to work with you. And take your elbows with the opposite hands. Have a little bit of a sway from side to side. And just feeling that sensation. Noticing how your breath feels. And now releasing your hands down. You're going to bring your hands up your legs. It's going to uncurl the back really gently, really gradually. Stacking the spine, one vertebra on top of another. Coming slowly up. Circle the shoulders back, lift the head up. Now you're going to work from the floor upwards here. So lifting your toes up off the mat. See if you can spread your toes out. How much space can you create between your toes? Now we're going to bring the toes down one at a time. So starting with the little toes, seeing if you can move them independently. This is quite tricky if you've not done it before, but they do work independently of each other. Until all of your toes are flat on the floor and grounding down through the four corners of your feet. So imagining the points, the two sides of your balls of your feet, the two sides of your heels. And now we're going to engage through the legs, through the knees, through the thighs, and through the core. So having that sense in the bottom half of your body is strong, is engaged. But then we're going to have the relaxation in the shoulders, relaxation in the face, in the jaw. Arms coming by the sides. And again, just glancing up in front of you. And take some breaths here. Feeling that sense of grounding, of strength, relaxed alertness in our yoga postures today. And now inhaling, sweeping the arms round, coming up to the ceiling, palms facing towards each other, folding forward at the middle, bringing the hands down in the direction of the floor. You can keep your legs straight if that feels good. Take a little micro bend if you've got really stiff hamstrings. And then you're going to bring the hands up to the knees, flat back, to head pointing towards the front of the mat, tailbone pointing towards the back. Imagine that you have a back that you could put a tray on. And now releasing, keeping that length in the back, releasing down. Bring your hands flat on the floor. Maybe you need to bend your knees a little bit to do that. And we're going to take the left leg back. And then bringing the left knee onto the floor, untuck the toes, reaching back up. And then coming straight down, arms by the sides, chest open. And this is called a horse riding pose, equestrian pose. And now planting the hands down on either side of the heel, we're going to pull that front foot up towards the face. So allowing yourself to fold forward into a runner's lunge, feeling the stretch all the way up the back of the legs into the glutes. And now placing that left hand sort of part way between the heel and the knee. And we're going to open up, lifting the right arm up and really feeling that stretch. And you can balance with that left foot, pressing down into the mat behind you, and then bringing that hand down, bending through the front knee, reaching up again with the arms, bringing the arms down by the sides, and then planting the hands on either side of the front foot, untuck the left toe, lifting the left knee up, taking the right leg towards the left and lifting up into downward facing dog. And breathing here, pressing in through the fingers, lifting up through the tailbone, coming up onto the toes, bending the knees down to the mat, bending the arms, chest and chin on the floor, and then scooping forward, maybe coming into a full cobra this time, so pushing through the arms, keeping the hips on the floor, don't lock out the elbows. So supporting yourself through your hands, and then we're going to bend the arms, coming slowly with control back down to the mat, tucking the toes, pushing through the arms, coming up through the knees and back up into downward facing dog, lifting up through the hips, bringing the feet together, lifting that left leg back up, bending it in, placing it between the hands again. Bring the right knee down, untuck the toe, reaching up, and then bringing the hands by the sides, opening up the chest. Placing the hands back on either side of the foot, tuck the right toe, bend, come backwards to go forward. So really bend in that back knee, bringing the right foot in to meet the left and folding forwards. You're going to take a little bit of a bend in your knees. You're going to place your palms underneath your feet. So one palm, then the other. Your toes are touching your wrist. And over time, you're going to work to straighten those knees. So don't worry if they don't go straight away. But you can feel that sense of stretch coming through the shoulders, through the back, as well as in the legs. And we're just going to breathe here. If you've got any tightness in the back of your legs, just breathe into it. And then slowly bringing the hands out, one, then the other. Coming to that flat back position, hands on knees, head facing towards the front of the mat, tailbone towards the back, and then folding forwards, lengthening the spine again, and then circling the arms out to the side, bringing yourself back up, reaching arms up towards the ceiling, and then bringing the hands together in front of your chest. And taking a breath here. And then we're going to do the other side. So reaching the arms up to the ceiling on the inhale, folding forward on the exhale. Hands to the knees, flat back position on the inhale, folding forward again on the exhale. Placing the hands flat on the floor, we're going to take the right foot back this time, bring the right knee to the floor, lifting up, palms facing towards each other, and then bringing the hands by the sides, opening up through the chest, taking your gaze ahead of you, and then bringing the hands down onto the floor. We're going to pull that left toes off the floor, coming towards the head, and then bringing your head down towards your knee. Folding forward, feeling that stretch all the way up the left leg, left glute, planting the right hand between the knee and the heel, and then opening up through the right side. So looking up to that left hand, fingertips, and breathe here. And then with control, bringing the left hand back down, bending through that left leg, reaching the arms, coming up, and then bringing them down either side, opening through the chest, fingertips pointing towards the floor. Allow your gaze to settle on the wall where it meets the ceiling. And now planting down through your hands, tuck your right toe under, lift the right knee off the floor, taking that left foot back into downward facing dog. Going up onto your tiptoes, bending down through the knees touch the floor, bending through the arms, chest and chin on the floor, And then you're going to scoop forward into a cobra position. So again, keeping the hips on the floor, don't lock out in the elbows, and just glancing ahead. And then slowly with control, bending the arms, coming down to the mat, and then pushing up through the arms onto the knees, tuck the toes and send the heels up into downward facing dog. And taking a breath here. Feel like you're filling up your lungs. And exhaling out. You're going to bring the feet together and then grounding down through the left foot, lifting the right foot all the way up as straight as you can, and bending that knee in, planting the right foot in between the hands, bring the left knee to the floor, untucking the toes and reaching up to the ceiling, and then bringing the hands down and opening up through the chest. And then planting the hands on either side of the foot. Tuck your left toe, lift your left knee, bending back through the left knee, and then coming up into the forward fold at the front of the mat. And again, bending your knees so you can place your palms underneath your hands, underneath your feet, toes towards your wrist. And then gradually over time, we're going to work to stretch those legs. So just see what your body feels like doing today. Allowing that sense of real lengthening through the spine and the shoulders. And taking a couple of breaths into any parts of your legs that feel tight. And then bending your knees, gently bring your hands out one then the other. Bringing your hands to your knees, going to stretch your head. The front of your mat, flat back position, tailbone to the back, and then releasing forward, exhaling, forward fold position. On the next inhale, lifting the arms all the way up, reaching up towards the ceiling, palms towards each other, then bringing your hands to touch and bringing them down, prayer position in front of your chest. And take a breath here. Grounding down through the four corners of your feet. Notice what your body's feeling like. Notice your heart rate, your breathing. And then releasing in your hands, we're going to reach up again, reaching up, forward fold, forwards. Planting your hands on the floor, we're going to bring legs back one then the other into a plank position. Making sure you've got nice wide fingers, shoulders over wrists, and a nice straight line from your shoulders all the way down to your heels. And we're just going to hold it here for 5, 4, 3, don't worry if you're shaking, 2, and 1. Bringing your knees slowly with control down to the mat and taking your hips back and come into a child's pose. Reaching out either with your hands in front, maybe you want to bring your hands towards your feet, or you can create that little pillow for your head. And taking a couple of breaths here. Feeling that air coming in and the air going out. And just noticing all the sensations in your body. And then you're going to bring yourself gently up into a seated position. Bring your palms in front of your chest. Namaste.
Thanks so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you enjoyed it, do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know how you found it in the comments below. See you again soon.